was her motivation to help needy children read. Oh, I love the clapping. Then it all changed. ESL became her thing, still helping children reading strong. Kids reading books, words their way. Daily fun. I forgot what the other one is. Right there. Lori Levine.
La la pa.
Guided reading's never been so good. I've been inclined to trust her guidance on all things. Professional development always is so engaging. Her preparation made it so. NTN, reading resource and the cadres grew as learners and leaders too. Kids reading books, words their way, right tools and the daily five. Lori Levine,
Ba ba ba.
guided reading's never been so good.
So good, so good.
I've been inclined to trust her guidance on all things, but now I hope you're not recording that. Lori Levine, will her office ever be clean? Lori Levine, who will keep our lunch language rated G. Lori Levine,
Ba ba ba.
you've helped thousands of kids read.
Oh. Woo, great song.
And now for the serious parts.
Oh.
So Stanley Marcus once said, next time you're called on to give a toast, relax and speak from your heart. A fine toast improves the taste of any drink, whether it's a scotch on the rocks or lemonade. So if you would please grab your scotch on the rocks or your lemonade or whatever you have today. And let's raise our glasses to Lori. Lori, your legacy is going to live on with thousands of kids that are amazing readers and have great lives because of that. And there will be thousands of more because of all the lives you've touched of educators and of administrators. You're an amazing person, both inside of work and out. And I know I speak for myself and for everyone in this room when I say that I'm a better person and a better educator. And I know all of us feel this way about you because of the time I've had spending with you. Good luck in your retirement. We will miss you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
I think it's up to you now.
It's up to me now, okay. Yeah, it's hard to follow that. And I know from staff development that it's important to say the most important things first. So I want to introduce my family. My husband Dave, who I've known since I was 17. And so we've had many long and happy years together. This is my son Eric and my daughter-in-law Julie and their 3 children, Sarah, who's in 2nd grade, and Jack, who will start kindergarten in the fall, and this is James, who just turned 2, so that explains a lot of things. And then my daughter Dana, and she flew in from Albany to attend my party tonight, so I appreciate her travel. And we all know that our family makes sacrifices to enable the things that we do for the children in District 59. And so I appreciate all the sacrifices they made to help our district and the work that we're doing. I also want to thank my friends in the instruction department that every day their smiles and their willingness to pitch in and help me in that make my days easier, and I appreciate the nice party they put together for us today. So thank you to all my friends in the instruction department. That I know on the bottom of the invitation it said, do you have an anecdote that you'd like to share about Lori? And so I thought, today is the day that I should tell you about my very first day of teaching. And that I was a teacher of profoundly deaf children, and they were all like first grade, primary age, and they were put together because they had all essentially failed kindergarten. And so they were not successful in the oral method of teaching, and my class from the University of Illinois was the first class to graduate knowing sign language. And so this class was put together so I could teach them sign language. And of course, they didn't know any. So it was a challenge, but it was a brand new school, so there was no culture. I had no friends to, fall back on. And I was the only class for the deaf in the school and the only class for the deaf in the district. So I was kind of on an island. And, the first day, one of the children hit another child, and I was like, oh, I know what to do about this. And so I had a chair, and, I was like, okay, you have to go to the timeout chair. So I put him in the timeout chair, and went back and, ignored him, just like the books in college had told me to do. And while I was doing this, he climbed out the window. And went running across the playground, which didn't exist yet. There was just a mud pile, and in the distance I could see a road grader flattening out the playground. And so I was like, my first thought was, they didn't tell you what to do about this issue. And they didn't. And so I was like, well, if I climb out the window, and I wasn't sure I could make it, that the other 8 kids are going to be alone in the classroom. I could call on the PA, but it wasn't working yet because it was a brand new school. And so I did something that was illegal. I prayed to God. And so I went back and just kept reading the story and was like praying like mad. And he did come back and bang on the window. So my second day of teaching, the timeout chair was moved to the other corner, away from the window. So I thought that would be a good anecdote to share. It's the first memory I have as I look back on my long career. And when I was a new mom and was a full-time mom, I went to a women's seminar at Harper College, which was the thing at the time, was women's seminar. And I always remember that speaker said that women, much more than men, have seasons in their adult lives. And I look back on the seasons in my life. And Dave and I got married just as I was beginning my career. And so I had the opportunity to be a new wife and a new teacher. And we had 7 years before Eric was born, and that I could grow in both of those roles. And of course, always, putting in so much time as a teacher, but also trying to be a good wife. And then, Eric came along and I stayed home with my kids. And that was, I have to say, one of my favorite seasons, was that time that I spent as a stay-at-home mom and focusing on my kids, developing new friendships among the other new moms in my community. And again, being a wife. That, after that, I did the juggling, and I know many of you can relate to these stages in this, but the working mom juggling act, where you're trying to keep all the plates spinning, and this with your family, your husband, and the demands of your career. But kids do grow up, and so then we went into the empty nest season of our lives, and that, Dave stayed home, and he works out of our house, and gets up every morning to make me breakfast, packs my lunch for me.
Our son does the same thing.
That all the cashiers at the grocery store know him, and because he goes in the afternoon when it's kind of a quiet time. And when my day is done, I call and say, I'll be home in 15 minutes, and he has dinner on the table for me.
She gives me her paycheck.
now I'm kind of standing looking at the next season of my life, and that's retirement. And, lots of people have said to me, what are you going to do in your retirement? Hello, Jimmy. So, what are you going to do in your retirement? And so I feel in the last couple of years I've been to lots of meetings and I've been to lots of professional development, but I'm like, well, has anything prepared me for retirement? And I'm like, gee, I don't think I have any lessons or this. But the other day I was looking at my bookshelf and it was like, what's going to help me plan for retirement? And I found the answer on my bookshelf. I know, Kim's very surprised. And the good news is, all of you have one too. And so, here's my guide to a happy retirement, the Danielson Framework. So I looked at this, and Domain 1 says you have to have a plan. Well, we kind of had that. Dave and I plan to do more traveling. I'd like to, I used to have a lot of hobbies. Cake decorating, reading mystery novels, doing needlework, and those have kind of dropped out of the schedule. So I'm going to bring those back in and exercise more. Domain 2 of Danielson says, I have to improve the environment. Well, I have drawers and closets that haven't been cleaned. So for Domain 2, I'm going to clean the closet and work on the drawers. Then for Domain 3, it says I have to increase engagement. And so I'm going to join a book club. Maybe I'll audit a course at Harper. And Marlene Pasdo has invited me to join her hiking club. So I'm going to become more engaged.